Andersen.
Alright you guys, well, welcome back to channel Andersen, and welcome to a video maybe some of you guys were not expecting or not up to date with. But yes, indeed, I am considering selling the 99 C43. And this video is to kind of explain why and what the reasons are behind it, and give you guys a quick overview of the car too for those that haven't been following along. It's a great car, but I'll give you guys an in-depth tour so you know exactly for yourself. So first off, my reasons why, I guess you could say. And to be frank, the biggest reason why to start off is just, it's kind of a great car as is, and I don't really have plans necessarily for things that I want to do to it. And because of that, it makes me kind of more curious about what else is out there and other projects that I want to try to tackle. I definitely did a few things on this thing when we first got it, and since then, to make it, you know, into what I wanted to be, to use as a daily car. But to go further with it, I mean, I could manual swap it, I could do some more work to the M113, you know, do other things, but realistically it's not really something that I want to do. Manual swapping would be cool if I do decide to keep it or just end up keeping it, probably will. But engine modifications, I don't really see myself going for anything on this car in particular. This is really my biggest experimentation car with M113. I'm pretty satisfied with what I've figured out on this one and modifications I've done to it. The ML55 is another opportunity to do that on another NA M113. There's only so much you can do with the NA M113, and because of that, kind of limits my interest as far as that goes. So that's kind of the biggest overall thing, is just as great of a car as it is. And don't get me wrong guys, this was a dream car of mine as a teenager. Having both of these in the same spot is absolutely incredible, and I am beyond grateful and blessed to even see these things in my possession right now. Is crazy, to be honest. But I just think there's other things out there for me to try, and that's the reason I started considering. You guys have heard me talk about you know, the possibility of manual swapping a C43, of other projects we wanted to do, like the M113K and a 124 wagon. So those are all things that, you know, I would try to pursue if we did end up selling this thing. And it just depends really. Like, I'm only going to sell it if I'm selling to somebody like one of you guys that I know will care for it. I'm not going to post it publicly. I'm only going to post it, well, I guess publicly is, YouTube is public, but not like on any public for sale ad market type of deals. I'm not going to do Facebook market, not going to put on Craigslist, not going to do any of that. So it's only going to be seen for sale here on my channel and on my Instagram. So that kind of negates any random people just finding the car. I just want it to go to a good spot, good home, and allow some space over here to you know, let me try some other things. And I guess the last thing to say is, I didn't really plan to get this car. You guys saw the video of how it all happened. Shout out to Mike, the previous owner, was getting deployed, and many thanks for your service again. And just, it was awesome meeting you and to have the opportunity to buy the car. All amazing things, but it wasn't, you know, something I expected to happen, or it wasn't a car that I was looking for. It just ended up being, and I didn't want to pass it up because these cars are special, and I figured, okay, I can at least be a good stewardess of the car for, you know, temporary time at least. And of course, pairing it up with this thing is amazing. But this is one of my favorite cars of all time, the C36. 202s in general, I love 202s, but if there's any 202 that's my absolute favorite, it's this one. And having this makes this whole thing even possible to think or consider about selling or consider selling, because I have this. This is my favorite, one of my favorite cars ever. So I could get here and yap on and on about why, you know, it's possible to sell this car, or why I'm thinking about selling it. But in the end, I'll probably just talk myself into a circle and say I'm not selling it anymore. So I think it's better to just give you guys an overview of the car, let you guys have a detailed look. We'll take it for a quick spin around the neighborhood and just show you guys how it looks, performs, etc., and I'll talk over all the details. But to start, we're gonna go in the interior, which is probably one of the highlights of this thing. It is, like, for any car I've ever had, especially an older car, it is as close to a 10 out of 10 interior that I could find from anything that I've owned without it like being restored in any way. This is all original. It hasn't been touched, nothing besides the aftermarket head unit, which I'm not a huge fan of, but hey, it does the job. And it's not terrible by any means. And then they also did put a serious Kenwood deck right there, but nothing's been like hacked up. It was all done really well. It's still wired for subs and amplifier in the trunk. And yeah, besides that, like, all the wood is in excellent shape. I think this is the only one that has a little bit of crack in it, and you can tell they kind of glued it back on a little bit, but I mean, it's amazing. The top one has no cracks. Headliner is pretty dang good. And yeah, everything else, the seats are amazing. There's no wear on the bolsters or anything. Passenger seat is like new. The rear, let me get this stuff out of your way. I put the pads down so that the car seat doesn't make imprints on it. So it's still being used, obviously. But yeah, nothing on the seats, anything, the door cards, like everything is beautiful. It's got the rubber hex mats in front and rear. And yeah, dash is amazing, no cracks. Steering wheel, amazing, no cracks, nothing. There's a little bit of wear up top here, but nothing much at all. And yeah, it's got some aftermarket LED lights. You can easily put those back to factory, but they're pretty nice actually. They're bright at night, so I've kept them. And then on the outside, and I'll give you guys another peek in here just so you can see, but again, pretty dang flawless. The back headliner is not even, can't see it because of tint, but that's probably why it still looks so great. It's not even faded, which every single one of them is faded. It's still literally the same nice dark black color as the pillar trims. Anyways, that is the interior. Okay, now as far as outside goes, my rating for outside, I would say, is probably a solid like 8.5 out of 10 or so. The only real nicks on it, Mike dropped his street bike on it one time, and the handlebars kind of put a couple dings in here, which could easily be undone with PDR. I was never too concerned about it. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it on camera, but it's just two little dimples right here. Oh, actually, sorry, three. 1, 2, 3, and kind of hard to see just because of the water right now. Sorry, it was raining earlier, but I'll try to give you guys a couple views of those. But yeah, nothing much. I mean, I wouldn't want to replace a fender because it's original, so I would just do PDR on those. Any decent PDR guy could easily get rid of those in a heartbeat. But like the rest of it is absolutely straight as an arrow. There's like almost no dings on doors or anything, which is crazy for a car this old. That has been definitely used. I didn't mention as well, since we were at the cluster, and I'll do that once we're driving, but it's 127,000 miles and some change right now. The history that I know on it, Mike was a master tech for Mercedes, and he said the previous owners were also both master techs that he knows. So it's definitely been cared for. You can easily tell that just by looking around the car. And the engine bay is like dry as a bone. We'll take a look at that in a second. But yeah, again, both sides very, very straight. The monoblocks, all 4 of them, are in really good shape. It actually has a full-size spare monoblock as well. I don't know what's in here in the trunk right now, probably stuff from moving and whatever else. A couple little goodies right here that I haven't got to, a SAI delete plate. But yeah, full-size monoblock in the back. It's literally brand new. Like when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's crazy. I've never even seen a brand new monoblock, but still good to go. It's got some, I think, service records and stuff like that in here. And then yeah, overall it's definitely been loved and cared for. Exhaust wise, we'll get into that once we start up, but I believe it's secondary cat and resonator delete, and then it still has a muffler. It sounds really good. It's like the perfect kind of M113 combo. And sorry it's dirty right now, guys. It's been raining off and on. The driveway's all muddy and stuff, so I'm not washing it for this video. I can wash it if you guys want later on to see, but just go back and look at the videos when we've done so. It cleans up pretty good. And it's not like terribly dirty right now by any means, just a little bit muddy on the underside. But let's go ahead and take a look at engine bay and show you guys. And right there you can see mileage, 127,574 miles. All right. Oh, looks like our star was a little off. There we go. All right, so under here, as water drips on me. For those that watch my video, hard to see, but we did a really cool modification where I was able to use a stud instead of a bolt on the pulley, so that if you ever have to change the pulley in the future, it's a 5-minute job and not a radiator out job, because I couldn't believe that when I learned that about the C43 and them having stuffed M113 in here. So if you go back and look at that video, I did that whole job for you. So now if you ever have to change a pulley, you just take 5 minutes and do it. But this M113 is probably the driest M113 I've ever seen. As far as oil leaks, there are practically none, which is just speaks to who was working on this. They sealed it up really well. It had valve cover gaskets and stuff not too long ago, from what I remember Mike telling me, and there was still a bucket of stuff that had just been serviced when I got the car. The things that I wanted to do that I just haven't got to yet is I wanted to rebuild the intake manifold and just redo the injectors, you know, put new filters and clean them out, etc. But it runs just fine as is. It's not something that needs to be done. It's just something I like to do on all my M113s. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. There's nothing wrong with the intake manifold. It works just fine. The swirl flaps are working just fine. It's not rattling, not doing anything. Just something I like to do on all the M113s, like I said. So it's something I would eventually do if I end up hanging on to it. But yeah, this car is just like, it just been really well cared for. It has no leaks, nothing. The only leaks that I've seen were a little bit down by like rear main seal transmission area, but even that was like extremely minimal, and I cleaned it off a while ago, and I don't think I've hardly seen anything come back. So it could have just been left over from an old valve cover leaking before they changed them or something, but it's pretty dang dry underneath, just like up top, and all stock. Nothing done to it besides Canon air filter and stuff like that. But yeah, when I did the job and had the radiator out, we put a new belt on it. I bypassed the AC and everything is all still hooked up. Probably needs to be recharged. I never use it, so I always bypass them on all my cars. But everything is still there. It's all still hooked up, just like factory. Condenser is there, etc. I just didn't. I don't use them, so I just bypass them because I don't want to have a AC compressor clutch fail on me and leave me stranded when I don't really use the AC up in Washington. So that's that. What else? While we're in here, before I close out, I think it's pretty much good. Oil we can take a look at, even though probably won't be accurate just because it's cold still, but oil's still good on it. I don't think it was changed too long ago. I haven't put a ton of miles on this thing since I got it, maybe 1,000 or so, if that. But I have used it as my daily quite a bit, along with this thing and the CLK. So what we did brake wise, I upgraded the calipers. These are just a general 4-piston caliper that was used on a bunch of different stuff. These were off of a S-Class W220, and then these are drilled W203 C230 compressor rotors. Everything bolts right up, so everything's done. So has BMW, I think it was F80, or I think F80 M3 stainless steel lines. Those fit perfectly. And then it has just the regular 202 I believe StopTech stainless lines in the back, whatever brand they are, good BF Goodrich or StopTech, I'm not sure what they were, but stainless lines all around. And the rear brakes are in good shape too. Rear axles are all really good. There's no leaks from the diff or anything like that. That's always a kind of a headache on the 202s, because got to drop them out to reseal everything, and it's not a problem on this. And what else as we're going through things? Flaws about the car that I know of, like I said, those few little dimples on the front fender. This door seal was replaced, so sometimes when you close it, it's still like a really fresh seal, so it doesn't want to shut softly. So you just got to kind of put a little bit of extra finesse on it and it'll close. And then besides that, there's really nothing. The water pump and everything was done soon before I got it, so it just has a lot of stuff that was maintained, that was done on time or ahead of time. And like I said, it only has 127,000 miles on it, so this is just beginning its life. Transmission was serviced also, and then like I said, the exhaust is a resonator and secondary cat delete. So I guess let's just start it up. Let's let you guys hear it without me interrupting, and we can take it for a quick cruise and just show you guys how it drives. All right, so it's still cold. You guys saw me back it up and start it, but it's still cold, so let's see how it does. I need to get gas for it. I haven't driven it for the last week, but proof that it's cold. Always should idle up, and then it'll idle down here in a second once it's warm. All right, there you go. Oh, and big thing I forgot, guys. We put Creative Steel transmission mount and engine mounts in this thing, so it feels fantastic as far as that goes. I don't know if we can see them in here. I'll try to show you guys. Not really, but yeah, Creative Steel engine mounts, transmission mounts, both in. And on this car, they honestly feel so smooth, and hardly, I don't think there's any vibration, to be honest, comparing them from old ones till now. But yeah, this thing is just as smooth as can be. Still got the factory bumper piece, and the fog lights are in great shape, headlights in great shape, no cracking anywhere, everything works. So let's go take it out for a spin. All right, and hopefully the GoPro doesn't die on me. If it does, I'll switch over to my iPhone. But yeah, as far as everything inside goes, everything works. Lumbar supports all work, little air bladders, etc. All the seat controls work, lights work, etc. controls up here all work. As a matter of fact, I'm turning this up a little bit. It's a little cold outside, and my heat on the seats. So let's go take it for a cruise. And I'll check back in a second so I don't show you guys my whole neighborhood. All right, since we're taking it out, might as well take it to get some gas, since I'll probably drive it this week anyways. So let's fill it up. Man, you guys, this is obviously a very tough decision right now. I'm just spending time in this car, walking around it, and it's hard, man. It's hard to just be scared that you're gonna end up letting something go that you don't necessarily need to, and then end up regretting it. All right, the GoPro died, so we'll switch over to this. But what I was saying was, I've sold now the ML63 first, the E420, and then the red C55. And out of those, I only feel regret for the E420 a bit. I kind of wish that I didn't sell it, but at the same time, it made sense at the time, and it was kind of necessary at the time too. We had a lot of just expenses going on, and it just made sense. But out of the three, that's the car that I actually miss. The red C55, I always knew I was probably going to sell it, and I'm glad that previous owner ended up buying it back anyways. So it all made sense. The ML63, I just was at a point where I kind of wanted to try something different, and that's why I end up selling that one. So I don't necessarily regret it, especially knowing that Lane, who has it now, is totally enjoying it and using it for mountain trips and all types of stuff. So it's awesome seeing it being used. But this car it's a hard decision, I'm not gonna lie. It's just so clean and such a good driver, and I love 202s, and man, it is hard. It is hard, and I'm not complaining either way, because I'm grateful to have it. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to even consider selling it, etc. So it's all good. Everything will work out as supposed to, but man, it's tough for a guy like me that loves these cars so much. But that said, we're here, so I might as well keep showing you guys the car. So I just filled it up, put about 30 bucks in it, so that's what it got me. Gas is about $5 right here right now. But yeah, other things I keep forgetting, guys, but suspension, I didn't even talk about it when we were going through. This car has Kona yellow adjustables up front with I believe H&R springs, and then Bilstein B8s out back, again with H&R springs, and then has H&R sway bars front and rear. So it basically has all the goodies you could want as far as like suspension. The engine's still stock, like you can tune it, do whatever you want to, and something I may do if I end up holding on to it. But yeah, tires, it also has a fantastic set of tires. We can take a look at them outside once we stop it again. But yeah, the car's it's really dialed in, and it's a perfect driver. All right, I'm really just gonna focus on the cluster, guys, since we're just driving, and show you guys since we're really just driving, and I'm showing you how it drives. But there's first and second, third, and then that was fourth to fifth. All right, well, it drives great. This road that they're on is super bumpy right now, so it might sound like crazy, but yeah, once it gets warm up, I'll do a little pull for you guys, for those that haven't seen. It's definitely got all the power that it's supposed to be. It's not, you know, crazy fast by any means. It's not even really fast in today's standard, but it's still quick and still a lot of fun to drive. And it's kind of cool because, you know, only 300 horsepower, but in a relatively nimble chassis. It's, you know, fun. It's engaging, and you can drive at 10/10 and not really worry about getting in too much trouble if you know what you're doing. So, and literally as I'm recording this video, there are people messaging me on Instagram telling me to keep this car. So yeah, it makes it even harder to even think about selling cars, guys, when I know you guys love them so much too, and know that there's gonna be a 50-50 crowd. Of some people will get it, you know, want me to try other things. Some people will just be like, why would you sell that car? It's amazing. And I agree with both sides. It's really hard, but when you're in, I guess, my position or with the channel, I kind of have to be the one to make those tough decisions in the end. So it's just a part of the game, and can't complain about it too much. All right, we're for the most part warmed up, so I'll get on it a little bit right here. Nothing crazy, just show you guys. That's about half throttle. And I'll give you guys a full throttle here in a second too, once I get a chance. Hey, the car is not slow by any means. It's still plenty fun. 300 horsepower in a small car, a V8 and a C-Class. It's a good combo. There's no getting around that. Even a 4.3 liter M113 is still a great motor. I mean, it's not a 5.0 or a 5.4, but it's still a really good motor. And I gotta say, I like the early 722.6s a little bit better than the later ones for some reason. I don't know, they just have a little bit different feel to them. Even like, you know, the 210 E55s that I've driven, C43s, etc., they just have a little bit different feel to them. I don't know quite why, because they're all 722.6s, you know, just like what came in my C55 from factory. But the early stuff just has a different feel. It shifts differently, it engages a little bit differently, and kind of like them a little better. This car is definitely a car that gets looks. I feel like both 202s, black 202s on monoblocks, they just, even people that don't know cars, they always look at them because it's just a great combo. They're kind of the contrast of the black with the silver monoblocks always catches people's eyes. And then you can always tell when a car person knows what it is too, driving by and they're like geeking out looking at it. So cool cars. Let's do a quick kick down. Try to get it up into gear first. That was full throttle. Yeah, it's like borderline momentum slash fast. It's not slow. It's just, I'm also very used to like the M113K and the CLK55, which is just an unfair comparison, but it's plenty of power to have fun with. All right, let's see if we just spin the tires, but here's first gear blast. Yeah. Yeah, this car is a lot of fun. Oh, that was good. First and second gear just spinning. All right, well, I think you guys get the gist of it. It's an awesome driver. There's literally no flaws in this thing as far as driving around, having fun, dailying it, whatever you want to do with it. They're just great cars. These are like Swiss Army knife cars. Can pretty much do anything you need. Yes, they're a little smaller for a sedan on modern day standards, but I mean, my son and I still hop in this thing and go out to car shows, and we've piled, you know, my wife and son and Mike in here before, and nobody complains. It's a good experience. All right, well, I'm back home now. Let me charge up both my phone and the GoPro, and I'll catch back with you guys in a little while. All right, you guys, well, pretty much right after we got back, it started pouring down rain, so I'm gonna end the video here. The Bridgestone Potenzas were the tires I was gonna show. It has a pole position SL4s on it and 225/45, and in the back I think it's just stock sizes. Let's see, where is it, where are they? Oh, 245/40s. Yeah, so stock sizing, but really nice tires. Those are expensive tires actually. And yeah, I put a Luxite conversion on this. Can't remember if I put spacers on this. No, I did not. I don't have spacers on this thing, just because how low it is with the H&Rs. So that's it, guys. If you are interested in this vehicle, like I said, it's not a guarantee I'm selling it, but I am putting it out there. If there's somebody that's interested, please DM me on Instagram or send me an email, anderson.amg@gmail.com. and we can talk about it. I might grill you with questions, so be prepared, because I want it to go to somebody good if it is gonna leave. Otherwise, I got no problem keeping it. It's just I want to try other things too, so we'll see what happens. Hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with the car, and if you got any more questions, or you think I missed something, just drop it down below and I can fill out comments with answers to your questions. So leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're not already, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.